gotta like bleach that thing out so that you can put some colors in there.
Yep.
So, how are things going otherwise? I mean, you guys have a good weekend?
Yeah, so I mean, on my end, we're in the middle of moving, so we're going to move a couple cities over, about 35 minutes from where we are now. But of course, you know, I'm in Seattle and it's winter, so it's raining while I'm moving because why not?
That's exactly how it works, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I will tell you, I really thought I was going to be laid up this weekend, but thanks to the VA and their dirty needle, I still have to wait a few more days before I have my surgery.
Yeah, so what was the deal with that? Like,
I don't know. They went
That's
before. Hey, so the lady said, we're trying to find instruments to do your surgery. And I'm like, well, you know, you kind of had like a week to find some instruments. Why are we looking for them now? And if so, who misplaced them? And so,
right?
And so she comes back. She kind of laughed a little bit, went back, came back, and said, so we've gone through like 4 packs of instruments, and all of them are dirty. And I said, well, maybe you want to change your contractor out. So everybody, I think like 8 or 9 surgeries all got canceled because nobody could find a damn clean. I don't know.
That seems crazy. That there's that they couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, why are they bundled up if they're dirty anyway?
That's what I'm thinking, which tells me that, well, you know, look, and Pags will tell you, Pags is in the military. He understands this. In the government, you get the bottom line of everything. You ain't getting this top-notch crap. You're getting whatever they can afford and the cheapest.
Yep.
So,
anyway.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to stream to my pages here. I'm having a little bit of a difficult time. So
it says it's live on your end.
All right, perfect. Yeah, it's just not showing up here on my end, so that's why I'm having a hard time.
You can see it on my dashboard, so you are connected.
All right, perfect. So, anyways, well, let me get started with some of the news that happened. Obviously, you know, let's start off. I got to start off with hockey because I was at that game. And how about Tortorella gets a standing ovation, you know, because that 2004 he brought Tampa Bay to the Cup. 7 minutes into the game, he's kicked out of the game. And I'm yelling at the referee. This isn't baseball. We don't do, you know, they don't kick out the coach. But that's what happens now. These referees are getting softer and softer. We talk about it for basketball, but I've never seen it in hockey. It was ridiculous that they did that.
Yeah.
So.
Refs across the board are getting frustrating in that way. I mean, everything is just, and you're out. And it's like, come on. I mean, they should be able to talk to you, right?
I thought hockey was like one of the last few sports that was fine, right? If you could go out there and you can fight on the ice, throw down the mitts, why are we kicking out coaches? Like, are we that sensitive as a society that even now it has infected the great game of hockey?
I mean, it's terrible for sports, for the refs to be that much of an issue. I mean, obviously we see it the most in basketball, right? Like you can't even look at a ref anymore and they're bouncing you out of a game, but it definitely doesn't need to get into the other sports.
Well, it definitely made its way into hockey the other day. And I'm like, it's the coach. Just because the coach is yelling at you, you're going to cry a little bit. I mean, that's part of what happens when you make a bad call. The coach is going to yell at you a little bit. I mean, we were getting our butts whipped. So there was a reason why he was trying to get some fire under these guys. But it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
But and then.
Yeah, I've never seen that in hockey where somebody gets thrown out.
Anytime you're kicking people out, whether it's a player or a coach, for complaining about a call is ridiculous.
Agreed. And it was a mess. And of course we lost 7-0, so that fire didn't really translate onto the ice. My thought was that they went out drinking the night before and they were a little hungover. I knew that Tampa Bay wanted to get back at us a little bit, but it was not pretty at all.
No, 7-0, that's rough.
Yeah, they even got the extra point. Is kind of what I was thinking. So, but winning 1 out of these 2 games wasn't too bad on this Florida trip. You know, we beat Florida, which is the best team in the league right now, and losing to Tampa the way we did kind of sours it a little bit, but. Even still, I'm okay with that. And then, of course, yesterday we get the news, two things that happened. Brandon Graham resigns and Fletcher Cox retires.
Yeah.
And that was, that's a tough one to hear. Obviously, he's probably somebody else. I'm not sure if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I believe he is a Hall of Famer. He's been one of the best at his position since he's been brought into the NFL. So my expectation is that he will be a Hall of Famer. Not sure if he's a first ballot.
Well, how much of a surprise was that, though, that Fletcher Cox retired for you? Honestly, it was surprising to me.
It was 50-50 on him. You know what? He's one of those guys, his body has been hurting. You know what I mean? And, it's like I've seen him outside of, football. And he looks okay, but you could just tell that it's a fight. It's a fight this game takes a toll on your body. And 12 years of being right in the middle of it. I mean, he's been there, like he's always lined up against the guards or the center, and he's always getting double teamed, sometimes triple teamed. He's always banging. I mean, I'd be nervous to see a little bit later in his life how much CTE he is involved in his decision. Like I got to imagine that there are certain headaches that he has that are frustrating to him, that just occur. That ball came close. So, it wasn't close enough, but I may have to be like, whoa, here comes one. If I catch one, that'll be awesome. If I do that live here, that would be amazing. I don't think it will, but.
I mean, the problem is you're on your phone, so you might not catch it the way you're thinking.
I don't understand. How do you go to the game and you have the whole uniform on, but you don't have a glove? Where's your glove at, Pags? Where's your glove?
Oh, I don't bring the glove. Hey, listen, I am not. What's that guy's name? Zach Hempel, who catches all the baseballs and stuff like that. I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? I'm not bringing a glove to the game. Hey, listen, I have caught a foul ball before. You know what I mean? It's. And I got some big hands here. These big mitts, can get around a baseball. So I'm not as worried about that.
Could you imagine if a foul ball just hit him right in the forehead right now?
No, that's what I was saying. He might catch it a different way because he's not looking.
Man.
Well, that's right. I was a little bit earlier. I was behind the net, and thank God I was, because one ball came right towards us. It was like, we had the hitting off the top of the net. I was like, if there was no net there, I could have eaten that one. So, because I'm not paying attention some of this stuff, because I'm literally like, I'm taking pictures and stuff. I got my backs to the field. I don't. Somebody could yell 4, and I'll be like, what? Bam. And then all the people that are signing up for the Hater Show would absolutely love that.
Oh, that would be the promo video for it.
Exactly.
We would clip that out and be like, join the Hater Show. Crack.
Yeah. That'd be all over TikTok. That'd be all over Twitter, Twitch.
Absolutely.
You name it, it'd be out there.
Yep.
Absolutely. I understand completely. So, but
I take that back. I wouldn't even crop it out because the other part of the video would just be us laughing.
Hysterically, yeah. And that's the funny part about that. But
did you see that?
There you go. So, the good thing about this is that, like I said, it's my first time here. You know what? Let me give everybody a quick little show. Let me see how I can make this happen without destroying the whole feed.
Yeah, show us around.
So.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. And of course, I'm out here. I got the bullpens right underneath me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, and it holds about 10,000 people in total. So it's been, everybody's just starting to get here now.
Who are y'all playing today, Pags?
The Yankees.
Oh, you're playing the Yankees today.
Yeah, it's the Phillies versus the Yankees. And the Yankees were the ones doing batting practice. So that's why they were trying to aim for me, but they couldn't hit it that far.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Stanton ain't that guy anymore. It's okay. That's alive. Yeah. Well, I would tell you to get the SPF 150 on, but clearly the face paint should do enough for you.
Yeah, I was going to
listen. This is not the face paint does not block the sun. I will still get tan or red.
Okay.
Wow.
That's part of what happens. But I'm Italian, so being Italian, I get dark anyways. So I'm all right with that. And it's not even that warm out. I mean, obviously it's 74 degrees or 72 degrees here, so it's not like ungodly hot. So it's a beautiful day for baseball.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Bo,
Exactly.
what about over here in Seattle? Do you have a beautiful 72 degrees and ready for
Hell
baseball?
no. We are looking at 45 and rain. That is what we're playing with right now, which is what was been frustrating over the weekend moving, right? Because inevitably if you're moving, it has to rain. And so Seattle did not disappoint.
Sure.
It's awesome.
Pass. Always got to do pictures. Can't go
Yeah,
nowhere.
well, I mean, it's why he's there, right? So you gotta jump in with the fans. Absolutely.
Yep. Live it up, Pags. I can hear
Right.
Kiss playing in the background right now.
Right. But no, I mean, it looks like a beautiful day for football, baseball. So it's I'm a little jealous, not gonna lie.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, it's good out here even in Houston, man. Like right now we got like 73, 74 degrees, light breeze. Not bad.
That's not bad.
today.
That's not bad.
No, not bad at all, man.
Hell yeah.
No, that's why we don't live in the north, though. We live in the
Yeah.
south.
Yeah.
I couldn't
No,
do that
we,
north living.
We're actually supposed to get some nice weather this weekend, which is a bonus. But,
Absolutely.
I don't know how do you go to a baseball game, paint it up like a baseball, look at the Philly gear, and think you're not going to have like 1,000 pictures and you can actually do a show?
no, that's why he's there. What are you talking about?
I know, exactly.
You know, hey, listen. You know what? The show, they get to see me all the time. They don't get to see me here like this. So this is part of being the Philly sports guy.
Oh, absolutely.
it's like-
That's what I was saying. I was like, Pags, you know you're going to be taking pictures all day. You might as well just.
Well, that's why I wanted to come on for a little bit, and I figured once the game starts, maybe I'll stop back on again and kind of show you a little bit of the game as it's happening here. I am going to continue to walk around here, but I wanted to stop on. Like I said, there was way too much Philadelphia news to not get it. And how about here's the last thing I want to talk about real fast. How about the fact that the Sixers and the Knicks combined for half? Literally, actually, it was like 2/5 of the amount of points they scored in an All-Star game. They combined for 150 points.
Damn.
Together, they couldn't have beaten one of the teams, the East or the West. 79-75. We haven't seen a game like that in forever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a 90s score right there.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was because they stunk. Yeah, that everybody was not playing well and not shooting well, or if it was because defense.
Yeah, no, that second part, that wasn't a thing. So it was definitely people just weren't hitting shots because defense wasn't going to be a thing.
So, yeah, I guess when both teams shoot 28%, it's that's all you really need. So, but
so what you're saying is we all could have suited up and played that well.
right? I could run the point. I could run the point. My bounce pass is on point.
Shoot threes. So,
and I can definitely do a bounce catch. I'm not going to dribble, but I'll bounce couch and shoot.
But
with no leak.
But listen, guys. I'm going to head out for right now. So definitely, I'll stop back on in about a half hour, 45 minutes.
Sounds good, man. Have fun.
All right. Take care, guys.
Yep. All right.
Well, it sounds like he's having fun.
Hell yeah. No, that'd be a blast.
Oh my God, I would love to go to. I told you that's what I said earlier in the show today. I would love to go to a spring training. I do plan to eventually at some point. I told the wife, I said, I want to do that. It's like it's on my bucket list is to head down there. So.
Yep. No, it'd be fun. I've never actually done spring training. I always thought it'd be cool, but just never made it a priority in the schedule. But I think maybe next year I'll probably go catch a couple of them.
It would have been great, though, if they could have had you in the Grapefruit League. Then we all three could have hung out down there and watched our teams. That would have been great.
That would have been fun. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense for us, but having to travel all the way over to Florida. But
yeah, but you could do it. You're Bo Crouch.
Oh,
I go to Hawaii.
I would be fine going. I just don't know that the teams, right? Because they got the Cactus League. So, but
yeah. I get it. I mean, I understand. Still would be nice.
Oh,
Or at least have like an exhibition game over there. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
like have one. I mean, like like, and I guess maybe it's just not feasible to do that. Because
oh
everything.
no, I think it'd be a blast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Besides, spring training reminds me a lot of like AAA baseball, right? You're in a
Right.
small stadium. The baseball is okay, and you're going to have a $5 hot dog and a cheap beer, and I really like the ones like the Aqua Sox here is one of our feeder teams, and you can still sit in the grass in the outfield.
Right.
It's like,
Oh,
that's kind of cool. You just hang out in the grass and, out in the, out in right or left field and, or right field, I guess. Yeah. And, no, it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun. Got some people checking in. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Former Giant. So you think Barkley ends up signing with the Eagles? That would be interesting.
Yeah, I've seen where they were talking about Saquon's had links to Dallas. They've said Derrick Henry has been looking at homes to buy in Dallas. I don't know which way Dallas is going. If I had to put a guess on it, though, I think they're going to go Henry. I think over Barkley. I have a.
I don't
feeling
think
on
they
that
can
one.
afford Barkley.
I don't think so either. I really don't. And and I don't want him to go after Barkley. I just don't trust those knees, man. I don't trust those knees for damn.
Yeah.
Number one,
I guess the I guess the big thing there is he wouldn't get leaned on the way he did with the Giants, right? Like he had to be the offense because Daniel Jones just wasn't that dude.
Right.
So if you go to Dallas, he doesn't have to be the bell cow, right? Like he can.
Right.
He's still going to be their primary back. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have to. Like the offense doesn't run through him.
Right.
Right. So they got weapons. They got a quarterback. Whatever you think of Dak, he is an efficient quarterback overall.
And they do have Dwiddle. They do have Vaughn, unless they release one of those guys, which you never know. But and again, the Cowboys. That's one thing we absolutely do. We have a good offensive line. We really do. And
Yes.
I think he can do good things with that offensive line, especially our tight ends can block. So I think he can do some really good things over there.
It's actually why I like
Henry. Was that?
It's why I like Derrick Henry for you instead.
Exactly.
Because you have a good offensive line. Now Henry, being a monster of a human, can beat up on a linebacker. Excuse me, a linebacker instead of a lineman. Right? I mean, that was one of the things that they ran into with the Titans. Honestly, that's what Saquon was running into also, is both of those offensive lines kind of were terrible. And so they were taking on the guys up front instead of the second tier, of linebackers and stuff. Because if you give me, even today, right, because Derrick Henry's 30, right?
Right.
You give me Derrick Henry versus a inside linebacker, I will take that battle all day. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have some weight, but he's certainly going to have some size on the guys.
Right.
And similar with Saquon, like I think his knees would hold up better if he wasn't battling guys that are 300 pounds. If his first contact is, 250, that's a much more manageable hit.
It is. And the thing about it too is, if you look at it from the Cowboys' perspective, they got Vaughn, they got Dwiddle, which are smaller, lightning or faster cut type running back. Derrick Henry would be the thunder that they need. He's a bruiser guy, he's a goal line guy, he's a north-south guy, and then you got Vaughn and Dwiddle, they're the east-west type of guys, right? So exactly. I think Henry would complement what we already have. I think Saquon, you bring him in, he's just another one that we already have. And we've already got 3 of those or 2 of those. I don't know that it really, like you said, number 1, it's more expensive. Number 2, he's got knees. And number 3, we don't really need that type of back. We need the bruiser guy, the thunder that we need. That's what we need, the goal line guy.
Because you don't run, running isn't your primary target.
Right.
So where you end up using the running game is trying to pick up a first down, in short yardage or something like that. Like most of your runs weren't designed to be like bigger runs. They're like, oh, we need to run it sometimes.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think they do like what they're supposed to. They use the run to set up the pass, right? I mean, they're not using the run solely as a yardage weapon, right? It's just to set up the pass, or like you said, short yardage, things like that. And if they get bigger yardage, that's great.
Yeah.
Because we are a pass type heavy team.
No,
And we got
without
lots
a
of
doubt.
weapons for that. But we do have Gallup on the trade block right now, so I'm curious to see where Dallas is going to trade Gallup to, because Gallup still has some life in him. Maybe you get a 3rd round pick for him, or you get another complimentary, less expensive wide receiver for him, something of that nature, whatever.
Yep.
But
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, so I agree with this, Barkley and Henry. So Philly doesn't really use the running backs correctly. So I'm with you there.
And they do have running backs over there already in Gallimore and in Swift. I don't know what they would. That's not really their need. What their need is to address some of the losses they took on defense and refortify some of that.
Well, and they need some of the guys that they brought in last year's draft to step up. Like you really thought that they were going to be. Well, you thought they were going to be a better. You thought they were going to be a better impact right away, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like you thought they were going to come from that national championship team to fill the holes that they needed to. And they unfortunately, it just didn't quite go that way. Swift is a Bear, 3 years, 24 mil. So I didn't.
So Swift is now with the Bears?
Yeah, I missed that one. So
yeah, I missed that one too. When the hell did that happen? No, seriously, I'm surprised because even Philly Sports Guy didn't bring that up. And I'm thinking it seems like that's something that he would have said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when that came together. So if that came together over the weekend or something, I would have missed that. But 5 minutes ago.
You said 5 minutes ago. Holy crap.
There we go. So yeah, I mean, this is that time of year where the dominoes really start to fall.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big domino for Philly to fall. I mean, either they believe a lot in Gainwell, or like you said, maybe they are planning on making a move after Barkley. But I don't know why you bring in Barkley. I don't know. I would much rather run with Swift than I would with Barkley. Not, it has to do with Barkley's talent. It just has to do with those needs. I don't trust that stuff, man. I don't.
No, I mean that makes sense.
Well,
and
we'll see what Lori and them plan on doing. Holy cow.
I don't
know if it's going to be as huge, Dustin, as you think, though, man. I don't know. So who are they going to let go then? Because they got what's his name, Deontay Foreman, and then they got the other guy as well. What's that dude's name? They had like 2 of the running backs already on there, so now they're going to have 3 running backs.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
I mean,
I sent you the link there, Dustin. I didn't realize I didn't have you on that email.
I'll tell you this. I don't know if I mean, Swift he's a good guy, but I don't know if that's really what they need to be. They need to be focusing on that damn offensive line. Where are their offensive linemen that they're signing or trading for or what have you?
Yeah.
Because that's really, to me, the biggest thing with Chicago is that damn offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of things.
I mean, what's up, Dustin? How you doing, brother?
Let's go, man.
Just getting ready to go to the government office in a little bit.
Oh yeah? Trying to get back in some orange.
No, they actually denied our family health care with my wife's new job because I am technically a independent contractor. So all my earning is self-employment earning.
Yeah.
And because I didn't fill out the self-employment earning sheet and send it back to them, they denied us, which I found out today that I don't even need to fill that sheet out. I just need to send them a copy of my taxes, which you could have let me know 2 months ago when I was filing my taxes, and I would have gladly did that.
So you actually were able to get a meeting with the governor?
No, in the government office, like the people that are in charge.
I thought you said you had a meeting with the governor. I was like,
no.
Wow.
People that file, the people that like take care of like your taxes and everything, I have to meet with somebody today, and it's just like you could have let me know that 2 weeks ago when I was, or 2 months ago when I was filing my taxes, and I would have made sure to send you a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
mean-
gravely beneficial.
You're right.
I mean, damn.
I mean,
Interesting.
that's always how the government, anything involving the city or government is always a nightmare.
You're telling
Yeah, but-
me.
What was that?
Yeah. I mean, they were trying to chop him up with dirty instruments. So, I mean, there you go.
Well, you gotta, Jay, what I was gonna say is adding Swift is huge for the Bears because Travis Homer's a free agent now, and Dante Foreman is also a free agent. So they're down to Roscoe Johnson and Khalil Herbert. Herbert's in the final year of his contract this year, so is he their long-term answer at running back?
I've never been a fan of Herbert anyway.
Exactly. So that takes kind of him out of your long-term fixture. Roscoe Johnson didn't really show much as a rookie last year, so I don't think the Bears really believe in him.
To
Swift
be
is
fair,
pretty,
what is on their roster that is a long-term answer?
DJ
I
Moore.
mean, seriously.
DJ Moore and Cole Kmet are their long-term options offensively right now, just because Cole Kmet's going to sign a lengthy extension this year. Moore got that 5-year deal last year. Montez Sweat.
So what you're saying is they are 51 guys away from being a good team.
No, they have other guys. They have plenty of guys locked up long term. Like Jalen Johnson just got that extension. Brisker's got 3 years left on his rookie deal. Kyler Gordon's got 3 years left on his rookie deal. Montez Sweat signed that 5-year extension last year.
Yeah.
So they have all these core pieces in place, but since they lost David Montgomery in free
I
agency
was just
last
throwing
year,
some shade at the Bears. That's all.
But you know what's up with it? But I think there's lots of shade on the Bears. I mean, look, this team has more money in the damn cap than anybody else. They got more damn draft picks than anybody else, and yet they still suck ass. I mean, seriously, at what point do we just say, you know what? No matter what you give the Bears, they just straight suck. They don't know how to draft. They don't know how to bring in free agents. Like, and I don't and I really think it's front office, you guys. You
They don't even know how to fire coaches.
Yeah.
no,
They can't even fire coaches correctly. Like, here, we're going to fire your whole staff, but we're going to keep you for some reason.
I mean, it's, at some point, ownership needs to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, we're the issue. We're the problem. Yeah, and fix yourselves. Because, I mean, the Bears have not been a relevant team in my eyes since 85. I don't care.
Well, I mean, they did make the Super Bowl in 2006.
I was going to say, they did make it.
Under Lovie Smith, they were very relevant, but they chose to fire him after he went 11.
That's right. I forgot about Lovie's old ass Smith. You're right. And okay, I'll give you that. I apologize. Let me go back and say back to 06. The fact that we're even saying 06, and this is 24.
It was funny because Lovie gets the designation of the only coach to get fired after winning Coach of the Year.
Ain't that
next season?
That's kind of craziness.
So you're telling me, Stat Guy, that since 1985, they've had one relevant year?
No, they've had more than one. Lovie Smith got into the playoffs.
How many have they had?
Lovie Smith made the playoffs in 6 of his 7 years as a head coach.
Okay, but so out of the 6, how many AFCs did he have?
How many what?
How many AFC or no, excuse me, NFC? Okay, here he is.
I was like, he had 0.
I was wrong.
I was like, wait, what? He went to the divisional round in 4 of the 6 times he made the playoffs. He went to the conference championship game twice, going 1-1. So he's at least gotten to that conference championship game for whatever reason. They missed the playoffs when he went 11-5 because you had the Packers at 12-4 and the Vikings both at 12-4 the same year. But yet you fired him because it's like, I went 11-5. What do you want me to do when 2 other teams went 12-4?
Yeah.
And since then, the Bears have had like 3 winning seasons since then. One was with Matt Nagy in his first year. One was with John Fox, I believe, in his second year. And I think Mark Trestman had a winning season. But outside of that, the Bears haven't been anything since they got rid of Lovie Smith, and they have no one to blame but themselves. Lovie Smith was a hell of a coach in Chicago, and I still don't understand to this day why they fired him when they fired him. Now, had he had a couple bad years going into that final year, I can understand it. But the guy had 1 losing season in his 9 years in Chicago, and he had 6 consecutive winning seasons before they fired him. So it's like, I don't know what you were expecting Mark Trestman, John Fox, and some of these other guys to do, but Lovie Smith was the best coach that they've had since they've won the Super Bowl, and you let him get away because for whatever reason you thought 11-5 wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing for that. I thought it was dumb at the time. And I'm not a Bears fan, I thought it was a dumb move.
3 years, 3 years at 24 million, huh? Okay.
Yep. 3 years, 24 mil.
About 8 million. That's about right. I mean, that's about right for his position. I think we said their position was anywhere from 8 to 10 million is what they were getting. I think Jonathan Taylor was the only one that got like 11 million.
Well, I mean, Josh Jacobs and Barkley are supposed to get 12.
There's no way in hell I would ever give Barkley more money than what Jonathan Taylor got.
I mean, you think Barkley actually gets 12? I don't.
I think
he'll get 12. I think he'll get 12 on a short-term deal. Like if it's a 2-year deal, I could see someone going 2 at 24. But if he's looking for like a long 3, 4, 5-year deal, he's probably not going to get more than 9 or 10. I think it's based on how many years he's willing to take. Obviously, if you're going to sign a short-term deal, kind of like what the baseball market is right now, where these players are getting the higher AAV because they're signing a short-term deal, I could see Barkley getting 12 million because you're banking on him being healthy for 2 seasons and then figuring out after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put Barkley in a 4-year deal just because I don't trust him to stay healthy. I mean, I don't even know if you give him a multi-year deal just because, I mean, history says he doesn't make it through the season.
Yeah, and that's why I think he needs to go to the right situation, like a 2-year, $24 million deal. He has to go to a situation where he's got other backs behind him.
Well, that's actually where Philly would make sense because he probably wouldn't have to play that much.
And the Bears actually made a ton of sense for Barkley too, because you have Herbert behind him, you have Johnson behind him. So like the Bears made a ton of sense for Barkley also. That's why like if he's going to sign like a big contract, which I think he will get on like a 2-year deal, he's going to have to go to a situation where he's the feature back, but he's not going to be expected to give them 25, 30 carries. It's going to be like 20 carries, 5 or 6 receptions, then you're going to have another running back that can spare you and get you 10 to 12 carries behind you.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. Anything that takes some of the workload off him, I think, is what he needs.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, he just isn't that durable. But
so you basically got Rashad Penny, Boston Scott, and Gainwell. Those are the 3 that are left on there.
Well, is Penny still on there? I thought he signed a 1-year deal.
What's that?
Is Penny still on there? I thought he only had a 1-year deal.
They got him still listed on the Eagles depth chart. He may be off of it.
Oh, you know. I mean, it's not the new league year yet. That's Wednesday.
That's what I'm saying. I was just going by. Yeah, I was assuming who else they had on the roster besides Swift at the time. But yeah, I think Gainwell. I mean, I guess Gainwell would be him and Gainwell have to work together. Maybe Scott if Scott is on there, but I'm not excited about anything with that Phillies team though.
Philadelphia's in kind of a transition mode right now, and I think Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat, even though they might not admit it, because he fired both his offensive and defensive coordinators. Granted, he brought in Vic Fangio, who's a hell of a defensive coordinator, which is going to help the defensive side. Bringing in Kellen Moore made no sense, especially when you look at how bad Kellen Moore was with the Chargers last year. So you saw how much that offense struggled last year.
I mean, sort of, right? Because for the first 2/3 of the season, that offense actually did fine.
It did, but then you look at his track record in Dallas, though. Dallas
I'm with you. But like you can make the argument why they brought him over when you look at how the offense worked until like the last 2 games before Herbert gets hurt.
Look, right? All I know is anytime you got Kellen Moore on that damn team as a Cowboys fan, I'm good.
The difference is like
I'm good.
The thing that I would worry about if I'm an Eagles fan, though, Kellen Moore worked with Justin Herbert, who is a pocket passer. He worked with Dak Prescott, who is more of a pocket passer now than what he was early in his career. And now he's going to Jalen Hurts, who's not a pocket passer. So he's going to a quarterback that he really hasn't worked with in the past. And you saw how much Kellen Moore struggled towards the end of his tenure in Dallas. You saw how much Kellen Moore struggled towards the end of last season. And now you got Jalen Hurts, who completely fell apart the last month of the season. So what is Kellen Moore really going to give Jalen Hurts that the other offensive coordinators did not? And if he fails this year in Philadelphia, you got to expect Sirianni to be on the way out too, because Sirianni is the one that kind of put the Eagles in this situation.
Yeah. No, I mean, if the Eagles struggle, the coaching staff gets blown out. There's no doubt.
It already did.
No, I know. But I mean, like it gets wiped the rest of the way out.
Yeah.
Like nobody would be safe if they struggle this year.
What's going on, Melvin? I seen Melvin just popped in. Yeah.
So we'll have to.
Guy isn't here because he's crying.
We'll definitely save this comment for when he pops back in. He is
definitely put that one on the side burner because right now
Absolutely.
Frankie is crying about Cole, and I'm sure we'll talk about Cole in a little bit when we talk. But yeah, so Frankie's doing a little crying of his own right now. I promise.
I still don't think they end up pulling the trigger on them getting Barkley. Just because they just don't really use their running backs right. And who knows, maybe that'll change once, Kellen Moore gets in there. That I don't have a lot of faith in it, but
my issue with Kellen Moore is he's just very predictable in his play calling. He's not hard to figure, Yeah. So that's the problem I had with him. I felt like the Cowboys were very predictable. They were easy to play, to plot against, strategize against, and I think that's what's going to be bad. And I think it goes to what even stat guys saying. When you try to work with the guy, is more is better at improvising because he is a running and a scrambling type of quarterback. I don't think that's going to play to Kellen Moore's strengths, and I think they're going to struggle. I don't think
the thing that's funny where Kellen Moore he reminds me a lot of Darrell Bevell.
Right.
Where it would be very predictable offenses until he had guys hurt. And then he'd drop a bunch of stuff and you're like, where was this when we had our full complement of people? Right? Like when you had everybody you were supposed to have, all your starters are playing, everybody's healthy. It'd be the most vanilla thing ever. But as soon as he has to make pieces work, then you'd see some actual creative offense. And you're just like, oh, so it is actually in there. Why don't we use that every week instead of, we know exactly what's coming.
And the thing with Darrell Bevell is he's always been a very good quarterback coach for whatever reason. I don't understand why, because like you said, a lot of his offense was very vanilla and it was very predictable. But he had so much success as a college offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think when he came to the NFL, he tried to kind of be like a college-style offense in the NFL, and it doesn't work. You need a more complex system in the NFL because of the type of players you have and because of the type of coaches you're going against, where a college system is not going to work. And you saw that with Chip Kelly when he came to Philadelphia. He brought that Oregon offense with him, and it worked for the first year that he was there. And after that, once teams figured it out, it was a very simple offense to figure out once you could take away basically the option, which is what they did. And Chip Kelly was nothing after that. I think Darrell Bevell came to the NFL with that college system where the first year – he did well because people were trying to figure out how to defend it. But once they realized how simple it was like, well, this is a very easy offense to defend. We're just going to do this, and then you're lost.
Well, he also had the advantage of one of the best defenses ever assembled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that helped Bevell out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just really looking forward to seeing the product that Philly puts on the field next season. I really am. Just for a lot of different reasons. I think more so defensively than I am offensively. Because of some of the people, the personnel they've had to let go. So, and I think Darius Slay is he still with them? I know he got hurt during the playoff game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, as far as I know, he's still under contract though.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left. He signed that 2-year extension last year.
How bad was his injury? Do you know if it was?
So it was significant, but it was like the best case scenario of what happened. So
right,
because when it originally happened, it looked like that might have been the last time you see him.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but no, it sounds like he's going to make a full recovery from his injuries. So
okay,
yeah.
Good deal.
So he dodged a huge bullet there.
I think you dodge a lot of huge bullets when you play a professional NFL sport, man. I tell you.
Well, true.
I mean, it just, even with a lot of the rules they got in place, I mean, football is still an extremely violent sport.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, and obviously, Bo, you play semi-pro, in arena, so I don't even know what that's like. I mean, that's got to be crazy because you're on such a short field.
It's fast. It's a fast sport.
Yeah.
It's fun, though. It was a lot of fun.
God. Okay. Well, y'all think
don't miss the AstroTurf though.
Oh God!
Don't miss the AstroTurf and the hockey hits over the boards.
No, that was fun because I played defense.
Oh, nice.
So that was fantastic.
You were delivering the blows.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that was fun. But yeah, no, I played on AstroTurf on a normal field a couple of times, but yeah, the AstroTurf in the arena, that was less fun to fall on than even normal fields. Like that
Every time
stuff
I see that AstroTurf, all I can think about is rug burn, man. And I guess that's why they put that white tape on there, right? To keep that from happening. Yeah.
Yep.
I would too. I'd have that. I have my whole arm wrapped in that white tape.
It didn't matter though. You still got rug burns.
Oh hell no. Yeah, I would be a much of a. I'd be definitely in favor of an all grass field versus turf field. I would not want to. Even what about that new turf now that looks like grass? I mean, is that still kind of the same
Turf
thing? I
with
mean,
balls. No, like it's better. It's better.
Right.
It's fast, right? It's because you get really good traction in it, right? Like you can really get your cleat buried in it.
Yeah.
But that's actually why you're seeing some of these injuries is because you can really bury your cleat in it. So although you can get some of your best speeds on that stuff, if you overextend an Achilles, it can pop an Achilles because your foot won't slide.
Vikings just made a free agent pickup.
Yeah, who'd they get?
Jonathan Greenard from Texans.
Okay.
Who had 12.5 sacks for the Texans last year.
Wow.
I mean, that's not bad.
Essentially expected to replace, obviously, Danielle Hunter, who's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And then most likely, obviously, Marcus Davenport, too, because Davenport played like 4 games last year before his ankle gave out and never came back.
I'm surprised the Texans, they didn't get him secured or get him wrapped up unless they don't
They
have cap room.
They franchise tagged him, but it was that one tag where they can still seek out free agency. So they put the franchise tag on him, and yet he still wanted to look at free agency. So Minnesota's getting him, I think, a 3-year deal, they said.
Houston should have wrapped that dude up. 12 sacks. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, no, the original AstroTurf was basically carpet. And then, the field turf has the black balls in it. And, like you can, again, tons of traction, right? But you can pull muscles, get quite a few injuries from it. But as far as just straight running down the field, some of the best traction you'll run on.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're out there getting injured, or if it's actually causing injuries, I'm not sure I want to run. Like I said, ain't no substitute for natural grass, man.
No, there's not. I'd much rather play on that.
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't like playing on grass that much.
I like playing on a good field. Right? If you're playing in a park, you're probably going to roll your ankle or something. But
I really do actually like that new field turf. And that's why you're seeing like a lot more high schools go with that field turf. Now I do like playing on that field turf as opposed to regular grass.
Well, no, field turf is great, especially for schools because it costs less to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as, injuries are related, especially, lower body injuries, the grass is the way to go.
Tony Pollard to the Texans.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
That takes Saquon out of the mix.
And then the Jonathan Greenard signed a 4-year, $76 million contract with the Vikings, $42 million guaranteed.
Okay. So the Vikings don't think they're done.
Well, I'll tell you what though, hey, that Texas offense, now they got Pollard on that thing because I love Pollard. He's a good runner. He's quick. That could really be nice. That shores up that running game for them. They go along with that really amazing passing game. I mean, they got 3 amazing wide receivers that are just incredible. And then they got Dalton Schultz at the tight end. I mean, literally, I'm expecting big things out of this Texans team next year to follow up that first year.
Yeah. Well, and they still have some nice draft picks to use.
Oh, absolutely.
So, this team should be a real problem this year.
They were a problem last year.
But if you're drafting,
for sure. Well, but last year I was looking at it as they were really overachieving, right? Because I thought they were at least a year or 2 away. So for what they did last year, I was like, okay, these guys, they put it together way faster than I thought they were going to. But now you add a couple of pieces, you get this draft out of the way, and now it's not they might do something in the playoffs to they are absolutely going to do something in the playoffs.
I think if I was the Texans drafting, I would definitely use those pieces to really bolster up that defense a little bit more to complement that offense.
And now they can, right?
Yeah,
Because now they have
absolutely.
their running back question out of the way.
Yeah.
So now you can focus on shoring up that defense a little bit more. And I mean, you give that offense a good defense.
Oh yeah, especially
gonna
when D'Amico was a good defensive minded coach.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna be cooking with some Crisco.
Mm-hmm.
No, they'll be a fun watch. They'll be a fun watch all year.
I'm really surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lovett if they have another statistically amazing offensive year and go further in the playoffs. That I can't imagine Lovett not getting a shot at being a head coach somewhere.
Yeah. What do you think? For the Cowboys?
You know what? Hey, you laugh. I'd take his ass in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
I'd take him in a heartbeat.
The Cowboys have their next coach in waiting. Jay, don't worry about it.
Zimmer.
Don't say it. Huh?
That would be
Who am I
amazing.
thinking?
You said what?
I said the Cowboys have their next coach in waiting. Who am I thinking?
Yeah, I know you're. And don't ever say that again.
You know who I'm even talking about?
Yeah, you're talking about Zimmer.
No, I'm not.
Okay, then
No, I was because I'm a jerk.
No, but
I said it last year. I said it last year. I'm going to say it again this year. Deion Sanders will be coaching the Cowboys next year.
Oh, no way.
I think he will. You know how Jerry Jones is. You sign Deion Sanders, that is going to bring in money. And that's what Jerry Jones is about.
No, I mean, you're not wrong.
And
I don't think.
And honestly, that is the reason why I think Zimmer was brought there. Because look at the relationship Zimmer and Deion Sanders have together. You see that all the time when Deion Sanders was on NFL Network, the relationship he constantly says that he has with Deion Sanders. And what happened last year? Zimmer was on Deion Sanders' staff in Colorado last year as a senior defensive assistant.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Deion Sanders brought him to Colorado last year as a senior defensive assistant. Now the Cowboys get Zimmer as the DC with McCarthy on the final year of his deal. McCarthy is not re-signed next year. Deion Sanders will be in Dallas next year.
I mean, that'd be
how
fun to watch.
successful do you think Deion would be at the pro level?
I think he would be better than he is at the college level because people are going to want to play for him because of the name, because of his personality. He's not like that typical head coach that you would think that you would have. He's more that fun type of coach who you know you're going to have fun with, but you know when he means business, he also means business. And
Right.
people respect that from Deion Sanders. They've always respected Deion Sanders because of how he played and just kind of how he went about his business on NFL Network and everything. People are going to want to go to Dallas to play for him. And I think that alone is going to help Dallas significantly if they bring him in.
Yeah.
We could
I
use
mean,
it.
he would have success. I'm sure he would like the not having to deal with the recruiting NIL action as well.
And the one thing that people don't realize about Deion Sanders too is he would not be afraid to stick up to Jerry Jones. He would not be afraid to be like, I understand that you own this team. I understand that you're the GM, but you do your thing. Let me do my thing. Like he would not be afraid to kind of stand up to Jerry Jones and get in his face a little bit because what's he going to do? Fire Deion Sanders a week after hiring him? Like Deion Sanders isn't going to let somebody come in there and tell him how to do his job.
And Jerry Jones might. he
I
might
mean, if
just
they
fire
did
him.
it again. I wouldn't be mad if they did it. I just think we need something different than what we've had. And we've had the same basic style of coach for a long period of time.
Yep.
Yeah. And it is just really antiquated and frustrating, to be honest with you.
Well, I guess Tony Pollard is not going to Houston. He has turned down Houston's contract to sign with the Titans. Well, Tony Pollard is replacing Derrick Henry.
Interesting. Oh, and he's gone.
Just like that. He's a flash in the wind.
Right? Yeah,
3-year, $24 million deal.
I'm surprised he turned it down.
Yeah, 3-year, $24 million. Texans offered him 3 at 21. So basically, Tennessee gave him $1 million more per year.
See, that doesn't make any sense to me because if it's going to be the difference of $1 million, I'd rather go somewhere that I'm going to win.
Yeah, I would too. I'd want to be on a competitive team. And seriously, because when you go to the Titans, who basically are starting all over again, they don't even have a good quarter. I mean, you're literally setting your whole career back. So you're giving up No, hell no. No, I would want to be competitive.
No,
And I would even go back to the Texans and
they
be
got
like, look, so
the
give me one.
sponsor for Hellman's mayonnaise or whatever.
But is he going to Tennessee because he knows he's going to be the feature back? Because you look at Houston, they still have Singletary, who's not like a great back, but Singletary played well last year. You still had Dameon Pierce, who battled through injuries last year, but you look at the rookie season that Dameon Pierce had.
Yeah.
Pollard probably wouldn't be that feature back in Houston like he's going to be in Tennessee. And I think that's what Pollard wanted.
That's true, right? It would be running back by committee for sure.
That's
right?
why. Then I think that's why he probably chose Tennessee, because now he has a chance to be that feature back as opposed to sticking with the running back by committee, which he's had most of his career apart from last year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, I guess I always view it different though, because I always wanted to win, right? Like
Yeah.
ring chasing. Like I want to win championships. I mean, the money, sure, but like I don't know. I like hardware, I guess.
Well, you just like getting to the top of your profession. I mean, that's the ultimate thing, right? I mean, the hardware is nice, but that's not. Nobody really does it. I mean, I can't imagine just straight for the hardware. I mean, they do it because they want to be the best in the league.
Yeah. I mean,
well, maybe they do hardware chase. Hell, I don't know.
well, I mean, some of them definitely hardware chase, but but
For me,
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't be the hardware chaser. I would just want to know that my team is the best. I mean, for me, that means more than anything. Know that we were the best.
I'd be a hardware chaser once I passed age 30. I would want I'd want the big payday while I can get it. And then if I'm in the league for 7-8 years and I still haven't gotten to a chance to play for the Super Bowl, then at that point I'm like, well, let's go somewhere where I can get a ring, even if I'm not the feature back anymore. So when it comes to Pollard, this is probably going to be the big deal that he signs. He's probably not going to get another deal like this. So you can kind of understand it a little bit.
yeah. So I can understand it if it was a significant difference, right?
Right.
But
right.
being 1 million isn't a significant difference when you figure you're going to go to a bad team that realistically isn't going to be good this year, or you could go and play for a highly competitive team, one that is realistically going to be in the playoffs. And because it's going to be a team that's going to get a lot of national attention, you have more opportunity for off the field money as well. Right. So, I mean, if it was a difference of like 4 million a year, sure, fair enough. But a difference of $1 million a year, you can get that in endorsement contracts because you're on a team that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This one I would rather be competitive. I mean, plus I played for bad teams and good teams, and winning is way more fun.
I mean, my thing is he must really not have wanted to play for the Texans, because I feel like if it was just $1 million separation, he would have gone back to his agent and said, "Hey, look, let's negotiate that $1 more million and let's get the job done." That's not asking for a whole lot.
Unless the Texans have other ideas too, like we mentioned in the past on some of our other shows that Saquon Barkley is a fit in Houston, and that there's other guys that are a fit in Houston. So is that kind of Pollard's mindset too, where even if he does go to Houston, if Houston brings in Saquon, Pollard's not going to be the feature back over Saquon.
Well, you wouldn't bring them both.
No,
it would be one or the other.
Yeah.
And I would want Pollard over Saquon because, like I said, I think Pollard's a little bit on the healthier side. So I know I'm going to get more out of that.
See, that's kind of the way I would lean too, because even though I think Saquon is a more explosive back, I want someone that I know I'm going to have every week, right? Like if you're awesome, but I'm only going to get you 10 weeks, I'm going to take the next tier guy because then I get him every week. Then I don't have to change my game plan because one of my featured pieces isn't there. So as much as I like Saquon and what he can bring, yeah, I probably would have leaned towards Pollard. It's actually why I kind of lean towards Derrick Henry, right? Is outside of last year or year before where he got injured. And even before, until he got injured, he was still leading the league in rushing. It took 5 or 6 weeks for other guys to catch him. So I don't know. I like guys that are historically healthy, just because, there's enough injuries you have to overcome anyway.
Yeah.
And I like what Chad said about standing behind Will Levis. I think what hurts me is $100 to shave that beard.
I'm actually not even sure which one he's talking to, but I'm imagining it's you.
Maybe. So my thing is this, right? why would you want to go to Tennessee when you know, like Chad had already alluded to, that Will Levis is not a great quarterback? They're going to have a terrible passing game. You don't know how good that offensive line is going to be for you. And your stats probably aren't going to look that great. So if you do try to get into the contract with somebody else, your results aren't going to look nowhere near, and that could actually wind up hurting you long term.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just would not want to go to Tennessee for all the tea in freaking China, man.
No, I mean, that's the thing is they're not going to be a good team. You know, they couldn't figure it out when they had a running back. Now you don't. Like,
right.
I mean, you got, you know, obviously Pollard's going there, but like, I haven't seen anything that says that offensive line's going to be better. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do I think Pollard is better than Henry? No, I don't. So, like, you know, if you couldn't get it done with Henry, I don't think
what's
Pollard's
Pollard going to do for you?
Exactly. So, yeah,
because he's an east-west kind of guy, and I don't know how good your ends are at blocking, or your tackles are, or your guards are at blocking, but
well, we know exactly how good they are.
They are great. They are great at blocking.
So good. So yeah, no, it's yeah, I don't have a lot of hope for Pollard unless they do some amazing things in free agency and the draft to address that offensive line. Pollard's about to have a rough year.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. Oh, sweet Jesus.
What, Jay?
I'm just saying, if I was and again, I can't tell me what to do with their money, but if I was in that position or lucky enough or fortunate enough to be in that position, I would want to capitalize on everything. And money is great, but it's not everything, right? I mean, there's competitiveness, there's health, there's future contracts, there's other things down the road, you know. And if it's just $1 million, I'm either going to try to renegotiate it or I'm just going to take it because it's not that much of a difference. But I think it's a better situation to set me up in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is if I'm looking at a situation where it's like, okay, you can go play for this bad team and be the featured back on a team that Derrick Henry couldn't get yards on.
Right.
And he may be 30, but he's still a monster human. So then, or you can go to this other team. It might be by committee. You're probably still going to be the number one, but you may not get as many reps, but you're on a team that's going to be good. They have a shot to do something in the playoffs, and it opens up more opportunities because you're going to be on nationally televised games, right? So you're going to have, it's not going to be the regional games that the Titans are going to have. So all of a sudden now you end up with more opportunities for those endorsement contracts, stuff like that. So, I mean, plus, when it comes to a running back, you only have so many hits in your body. Right. So maybe you end up with 40 less carries, 50 less carries over the course of the season. It's like, okay, well, maybe you just extended your career another year. So, I mean,
let's be honest, Houston is not the most run heaviest of teams with all those wideouts that they got.
No,
and that tight end that they got. So you're not having to run the rock, 50 times. You may run it, 15 to 20. Or, or 10 to 15, because like you said, you have other running backs in there too. So,
and you may end up with the same amount of carries because the Titans offense can't move the ball. So if you don't convert first downs, you don't get a lot of opportunities either.
And the Texans do have an offensive line, so it's going to give you way more yardage, like you said, than what you would have experienced over in Tennessee. I guess when you go to Tennessee, you're going to go to no man's land, and if you're lucky enough to stay healthy, you're not going to your career, your yardage isn't going to be anything that's going to impress anybody to really give you a long term.
Yeah,
or at least a long term of what you're asking or what you're wanting.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh man, what do y'all think about Wilson? I've seen him. If I'm not mistaken, it looked like he was getting close to either inking it or has already inked with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He did ink it. He did ink it. So he is with that. Let's talk about that on the other side of the break since we're at the top of the hour.
Bam.
Here we go.
This is Reggie Jones, owner and founder of Air Sports Academy. Air is based on the 4 core principles: heart, education, integrity, resiliency. AIR is about developing student athletes physically and mentally through training, mentorship, and effective marketing. We've created a platform and a blueprint for our state to shine in the brightest of lights. I created this program because it was a need for our state. We needed to have the light shine on the student athletes in our region, and now that is happening at an all-time and undeniable rate. We created a lane for the kids in our state to get their college education paid for and set their families up for future success. We created an environment where serious athletes can now come compete fearlessly. We've achieved this through our variety of elite programs. Our 6-month off-season program, where first-year starters or seasoned vets can all come develop. Our 5-on-5 program, which is all about our line. Our youth tackle program, which is the first and only youth tackle team from the state of Washington to ever win a major national championship. Our 7-on-7 program, which is ranked top 10 in the country every year. Our high school 11-on-11 club tackle program, which creates a unique and much-needed opportunity for our kids. Our college prep program, which allows our graduates to come back from college and prepare for their upcoming season. Our track and field program, which creates an opportunity for our young air boys and air girls to continue to get faster. When you're a national program, you receive national respect, which is why when you look at recruiting boards and top player lists from around the country, you'll always find players from Air on those lists. Which is why college coaches from some of the most prestigious schools around the country come into our facility to recruit our players. The Penn State, Alabama, Oregon, Stanford, Florida State, the list goes on. Our players are being recruited, offered, and committing to some of the top schools in the nation. The experience our players and families receive is second to none. We offer a competitive brand of sports at Air. We are the ball. And with that comes great responsibility. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. This is it.
All right. So yeah, and in fact, I'm going to go down and chat with Reggie here in a couple of weeks and tour the facility. So should be pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, to get back to where you are, Russell Wilson signing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a good fit for them, right? They needed competent quarterback play. That's something you can still get out of Russell Wilson. You get him for nothing, right? I think it's costing them roughly $1.5 million, and then the Broncos are carrying the rest of his contract. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you get him for nothing. It's going to be an upgrade over, Mason Rudolph and Pickett. So, at the end of overall, I mean, it should be a good fit. Plus, it gives Russ a chance to put some good film back on. You know, this is sort of his audition, so to speak, to stay in the league, right? Because if he struggles there, it'd be hard for another team to take a flyer on him.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I just don't know. I mean, this, and I think for Gerald, was it Pickens? I think is his last name. That's what I had on my fantasy team. You know, I think that would be a good fit to see if he can actually get his career up and off the ground, because he really has struggled to get targets a lot with the other quarterbacks, out there in Pittsburgh. So, I think to get the full use out of George Pickens, I think Wilson would be a good thing to bring in, because you all know how much Wilson loves to air out the damn football.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is something that has been missing on that team is the long ball, right?
Right.
But if you're a tight end on that team, you are now disappointed because you are going to get 0 targets.
So stat guy, man, what's your thought process on Steelers picking up Wilson, and what is he going to mean for that team in terms of playoffs?
I mean, it's a win-win for both sides. You're getting Russell Wilson for $1.3 million. So counting what Russell Wilson's getting from Denver, he's still making $44 million this year. So for him at this point, even if he struggles in in Pittsburgh this year, somebody else will sign him again next year, because Denver still owes him $43 million next year. So he can have a terrible year in Pittsburgh this year and then still sign like a $1 million deal with somebody next year, because for $1 million, it's literally costing a team nothing to bring him in, and Wilson's still going to get $44 million in total. So for him at this point, I would say the next 2 years for him are kind of the make or break to see if he can stay in the league beyond 2 years, because at this point, he's still getting paid regardless what he does the next 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, no, he was definitely going to be around for a year or two. But yeah, I mean, this is his audition.
When it comes to Pittsburgh, they're getting a guy with plenty of playoff experience. They're getting a guy who knows how to win when he's in the right situation.
Yep.
Mike Tomlin's a hell of a coach, so I think that's going to also help him also. But I think this is going to be more so for Kenny Pickett, because for the first time in Kenny Pickett's career, he's going to have that veteran quarterback to learn from. Because when the Steelers drafted him, you had Mason Rudolph, who was a veteran quarterback, but he really had, 5 or 6 starts under his belt, so you really can't go off of that. Mitch Trubisky was there, who we all kind of know how his career has gone. Yep. Yes, Wilson's career has kind of gone downhill the last 2 years, but this will be the first time in Pickett's career that he really has that veteran presence to kind of look up to, that veteran presence to kind of learn the game behind, where even if you only have Wilson for 1 year, if Pickett can take a lot of knowledge away from Russell Wilson, who knows how Kenny Pickett's going to be after that, because he could actually come back from this and be a much better version of himself than what we've seen so far.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Let's pop over to the Philly sports guy, live on location.
Yeah, actually, and most of the Phillies are playing today. I mean, everybody's playing and against the Yankees. So it's like this is a real game. We got Wheeler on the mound. And that was first pitch. You got to see the first pitch right there.
Awesome.
Hey, sports guy, I'm curious to know your reaction to DeAndre Swift leaving the Eagles.
Did he leave?
Yeah, he signed with the Bears on a 3-year deal.
Well, they haven't signed anybody yet because it's not that time. Right? I mean, free agency hasn't begun yet.
No, yeah. I mean, technically it's 2 days out.
So, all right. Yeah, that's okay. Because I keep hearing that we're going to get Saquon.
I mean, it could happen.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't think that we're going to get Saquon either. I think that there's enough running backs that are going to be switching around that it's possible that we're going to wind up. They don't want to spend the money on running backs. That's not their thing.
Hey, Justin, the Eagles are going to be getting Ezekiel Elliott.
Live on my podcast, actually.
$4 million.
Ain't nobody saying that. Zero people are saying they're getting Zeke.
Yeah, 0.
Hey,
First off,
that's not true. Kellen Moore wants to reunite.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Welcome to purgatory.
You would wish that. Only you.
Well, that's true. Hey, listen, after what the governor did to me, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That was great.
Am I in your seat?
I think so. Jamie, we got the ends, the 3 ends.
Right.
3 ends? Yeah, 1, 2,
Are
3.
you stealing
what happened there?
seats now?
Hey, Pat.
I'm actually just a couple rows back.
Oh, you're fine.
Use somebody's seat. Pat, go to your own seat.
I'm actually in this row behind, but I'm just going to sit here because I'm going to move.
Hey, look, Pax. You know, my dad was trying to get out of the big expensive seat when you know you belong in the cheap seats. Oh, that's why.
You know, I always like, because you're showing the field, right? There was a guy that was turned around looking at you, and then everybody clapped, and he starts clapping while he turns around. He has no idea what's going on.
So, actually, the one guy who was right in front of me is a radio personality.
Oh, yeah.
So Sean Brace, from in Philadelphia, and he's here celebrating. He's celebrating his wedding anniversary, and it just so happens we're in the same section. So it was like kind of funny to have us all together.
Yes, we saw you in Pittsburgh.
Let's go.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna float around a little bit, but I wanted to give you guys like the first thing. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Looking like such a
It is me.
Hey, Philly sports guy, try to get us to the dugout next go around, okay? Get us to the dugout level.
All right.
Yeah, and then put it on speakerphone so we can yell at him.
There's the dugout over there. And it's actually a capacity crowd here. I mean, he got probably close to about 10,000.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it does look pretty packed in.
And like I said, it's everybody's playing. We got, I think it's just like the real starting lineup for both squads, at least for the first 3 innings.
Yeah, no, I'm sure
I'll be
they'll.
curious to see how y'all
get a couple reps to
play
get
those
everybody
first
out.
3 innings.
Can I just like run myself into a wall right now?
You can if you'd like.
I mean, this is so since Kirk Cousins has now said he's going to test free agency, Minnesota's 2 options right now are Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold. I'll go with Nick Mullins before I would take either one of them.
Oh no,
But you know what, though?
you're getting
What
Wilson.
What if Zach Wilson actually resurrected his career with Justin Jefferson?
No.
What the heck?
No.
Geno did it.
No, he couldn't hit sand if he fell off of the camel. Zach Wilson couldn't hit sand if he fell off of a camel. He would hit the rock or the cactus, one of the two.
Zach Wilson would be hilarious because you have some weapons and you couldn't use it all.
I would literally take Nick Mullins.
Say again?
You're looking a little red out there today.
Any day of the week.
Not yet. But I will get a little tan through this. This makeup does not protect me from the sun.
Yeah, the lack of hair on either side of the mohawk is neither.
So yeah, it will be a little bit red, but I'm going to come back nice and tan. So you'll get to see it all.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
By the way, good job on making the lines for the baseball. They look very straight.
Well, it's not these are pinstripes.
Those are pinstripes, like a jersey, dude.
Yeah, they're not stitches from a baseball. I get that confused sometimes. It figures that Dallas people are the ones that don't make that distinction wrong.
I was going to say, what part of it looks like stitching?
Oh, no.
None of it. Yeah, I'm going to get out of the way here. No, I'm going down that way. You're not going. So I wanted to get up and out of people's way. There we go. Now I'll switch it back over to the other side. Get to see the Phillies first inning.
No. Well, all right. Next item up for bid.
All right. I'm going to mute you for a second here. All right.
Well, it looks like somebody's having fun today.
Absolutely.
These
All
are
right,
circling
well,
on Barkley
actually-
and McKinney. More aggressive. Wow. Well, what if the Eagles do sign Barkley?
I mean, they're good. So what do you think? You think they have a real shot at Barkley? You think they make a run at him?
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, if Barkley wants to come here on a 1-year show-me deal at like $8 million, maybe. But I can't see that. I think he wants like $13 to $15 million. And I don't know that that's in the cards for the Eagles.
Well, I don't think that's in the cards for any of the running backs, though.
No. That'd be worse than Dallas Cowboys giving Ezekiel Elliott that $10 million or $100 million contract that they gave him back in the day. That'd be horrible.
Right, I agree. So I don't think that's going to occur.
No.
Yeah, well, I don't
no.
think any of the running backs are going to get anything like that anyway. So I don't know that. I don't think anybody really gets more than 10 or 12 at best.
Well, I agree with that. I think that if Barkley was to get like $10 million on a on a 1-year deal, and he actually played behind a real offensive line, and they get to see exactly what it's like, he may decide to do that. I mean, I really think that the Eagles are going to make a big bounce back. You know, they haven't lost anybody for real. I mean, their running back is okay, but they said they got. I know Boston Scott's gone, which was probably okay, and they're going to have to revamp all the running backs, but they got the receivers still. I think that Hurts actually has a big rebound season. So, no, you're good. You're good.
I'm old. I don't bend that easy.
I understand. So
NFL Reality Check says let the Texans have Saquon, and you guys can go draft.
yeah, sure. What's up, man? How you doing?
I told you I'd be down here.
It's good to see you. Yeah, mute me for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like if the Texans do go after Pollard, though, I mean,
Well, it
You know,
sounds like they've already signed him, didn't? Or no, I guess you
yeah,
said
they can't
Titans
officially
didn't.
sign him yet, but
They can't officially sign him until Thursday, but they can have like everything but like the contract signed. So they can have the deal in place, they can have the handshake done, they can have all the financials set in stone. They just can't sign that dotted line until Thursday.
exactly. Like, everything can
Yeah.
be filled out except the signature.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because that's exactly what it says. Titans signed him for.
Oh, sorry,
3 years.
Titans. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I said Texans
Yeah,
too,
the
but
Titans,
yeah,
the Titans outbid the Cowboys, Texans, Giants, and Vikings for Pollard.
Yep.
So there was a lot of people that were in on Pollard.
Well, I think that definitely opens up now. I'm going to go ahead and confidently say I think Dallas is going to take a flyer on Henry now at this point.
It wouldn't be a flyer. It wouldn't be a flyer.
No, I thought.
And you know what I
honestly
mean? Like
thought
they're
they were
gonna make him a contract offer to
For the first, it'd be for the first time in Derrick Henry's career, he would be in an offense that is pass first, which
Yeah.
is going to save his career for at least 3 years.
No, I
And
agree.
keeping that guy healthy, you could run a pass first system the first 3 quarters, and then if you have that lead in the fourth quarter, you just ground and pound Henry that entire fourth quarter.
I'm trying to get you guys to see Harper's first at bat.
Oh, nice.
And there we go. Sorry. Now you should see it, right?
I was thinking he meant Zach Wilson. I thought he was being facetious here.
I think he does mean Zach Wilson. Yeah, but it's nice to know the Vikings are also going after Christian Wilkins and L'Jarius Sneed, and maybe, I guess, focusing on more of their free agent money on the defense. They're ultimately going to go young at the quarterback, and just basically let the defense take over, which, with Brian Flores as your DC, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
And that ends the first inning. So listen, guys, I'm going to let you guys get back to it and stop ruining your podcast here with my pretty face.
No, you're good. You're good. Thanks for coming in live, man. It's awesome.
And listen, and you know, it's like I get to do this a little bit during the week. So, like, who knows? You might see me at the beach tomorrow. I'm going to be down here till the 20th. So, obviously, you never know what part of me you're going to get. So.
Well, you definitely provide the sailing
appropriate to be on camera.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're going to the beach, you still got to be painted, though. No.
You know what? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But you guys can wish for that. You know, I might be shirtless that day. So you might see a whole different side of the Philly sports guy. Listen, guys, have a great show. I'm going to get out of your hairs now.
Right on. Enjoy the game, man.
All right, take care, guys. See you tomorrow.
Looks fun.
Yeah, he's going to get burnt.
Nah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Is it wrong that I want him to get burnt just so I can see it?
No, I mean, I knew that's what was happening.
Oh, man. Well, good for him, man. He's getting to enjoy Miami and Tampa and all that Florida has to offer.
Absolutely.
While you're up there enjoying everything that was Washington has to offer.
Yeah, we got that liquid rain, liquid sun going on. So, it's we do have a nice weekend coming up, though. So I'll get to finish moving in some decent weather, which is nice.
Hell yeah. Not that I like moving, but if you're gonna move, don't make me move in cold weather because I'm already got achy joints. That would be horrible.
So
I might actually hire somebody when I move into my house. I was thinking about doing that. I know, seriously, I think I might hire somebody to say, hey, look, take all this crap, throw it in there. I'll figure it out later.
I mean, it's actually not. It's not a bad way to go as long as you trust.
It's a short move, right? Like you don't want to do no long distance move, but if it's like cross town or something.
So very different, actually. If it was a long distance, I definitely want someone else to do it.
Well,
you load it all into the back of a 40-footer, and you let that semi meet you there.
Yeah, you're right. But it is more expensive. That's the thing, though. It's going to be more expensive. I guess that's where I was going with that. Not so much the move itself, but just how much it's going to run you. Because I know just to get a U-Haul and do it yourself is like over $1,000.
Buffalo, Jacksonville Jaguars just signed Gabe Davis to a 3-year deal.
Gabe Davis.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Come on, Dallas. Go get Derek. Let's stop messing around.
So I don't know if you talked about this yet since I missed the first few minutes of the show, but what do you think of the trade for Jerry Jeudy going to Cleveland?
I
thought it was good for Jerry.
It doesn't move the needle for me. And the only reason I say that is the quarterback is the biggest question they still have, right?
The funny thing is, it's actually not the biggest question because if Cleveland was smart, they would do what they should do: re-sign Joe Flacco.
So let me stop you with the first part. If Cleveland was smart,
we know they're not smart, but
we could just drop a period there, move on with the day.
But Cleveland should re-sign Joe Flacco. The team was 5-1 with Joe Flacco last year. They were averaging almost 10 more points per game with Joe Flacco last year. Granted, he was a little bit erratic at times, but the team still played better with Joe Flacco, and he is the quarterback that Jerry Jeudy needs. He's one that is not afraid to throw the deep ball. Jerry Jeudy has a boatload of speed and is a deep ball receiver who hasn't had a deep ball threat since he came into the NFL.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's I like him there for what it could be. The problem is we haven't seen what it could be, right? Because Deshaun hasn't played meaningful, good football in 4 years, right? He's had one good game. He had a few okay games. His one good game is the one he gets hurt, ends his season. Right. So when he comes back, the film that you have is 2 years of not playing, like 8 games of bad football. And then this last year, he had half a dozen okay games, one good game, and some bad games. So, I mean, what version of Deshaun are you getting? Because his really good play with the Texans is so many years removed. You don't really think that's going to be a real thing. So if he can be okay, sure, you're going to win some games, but Jerry Jeudy doesn't make a difference in that scenario.
No, that's the thing too. Like, you're never going to get that Houston version of him again. Sitting out of football as long as he sat out, you're never going to get that version that you saw from him in Houston.
No, then again, I've never gotten better at something by not doing it for a couple years.
And then I don't expect Deshaun Watson to be as bad as he was with Cleveland in 2022. Like the final 8 games of the season after his suspension was over. But you got to remember, the guy went basically 2 years without playing, so you knew he was going to be terrible that first year. I expect Deshaun Watson to be kind of somewhere in the middle of where he was last year, where he may be a little bit better than he was last year at times, but then he might have some games where he looks like that 2022 version of himself. I think he'll be more consistent next year in Cleveland if he stays there. But if I'm Cleveland and knowing how well Joe Flacco played last year, sign Joe Flacco to a 1-year deal and see what you can get out of him. If he struggles, you still have Deshaun Watson for 4 more years. It's not like you're in a quarterback situation where you have no options.
Man, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can have a healthy Deshaun on the roster and roll out Flacco. Like, I don't think you can do that. I
don't think Deshaun makes it to the end of the season. I'd have Flacco there just as an insurance policy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So if he goes down,
I agree you resign. Yeah. I 100% agree you resign.
You're not going to start Flacco over Watson. No,
not a chance.
You have too much guaranteed money in Deshaun.
Well, besides, you have to see if that upward swing that Deshaun was starting to have before he got hurt, is sustainable, or was that just an aberration? He had a couple of decent games. So, I mean, I don't think you can roll Flacco out there because, one, you need to see what you have in your $230 million quarterback.
I think they know what they have in him at this point.
I think we all know.
I think it's an overpay by about $150 million.
I think they're still on the hopes and dreams train. And
well, they're on. No, what they're on is the I'm stuck with you train. And let's just pray to God that something comes out of it.
No,
is
that's what I'm
they're
saying.
on.
The
'Cause
hopes
when
and
you're not
dreams.
fully guaranteed, you're not on the hopes and the dreams. You're just stuck with it.
You're
Regardless of
hoping
what you're stuck with.
you're hoping he can pull something out so that everyone doesn't get fired.
Yeah, now that's the train you're on.
Yeah, that's
Christian-
what I'm saying. It's the hopes and dreams.
Christian Wilkins has just signed a 4-year, $110 million deal with the Raiders, $84.5 million guaranteed.
Oof. All right.
Let me ask you guys this, man. Nick Chubb, I mean, we saw the gruesome injury that he sustained last year. Number one, I got two questions. Number one, how long do you think it's going to be before we get to see him again? And then number two, when we do see him again, is he going to be able to still be the old Nick Chubb, or is this injury going to be hampering him regardless now for the rest of his career?
So
Six-
he
That was a
actually got,
nasty injury.
he got really lucky in the way that it didn't do more damage than it did, right? Like it looked gruesome, but it actually only snapped one tendon. So realistically, he should be able to come back and be highly effective. It's the same injury. It's the same type of injury that he had before. Just the first time that he had it, it wiped everything out. This time around, it actually was, as bad as it looked, probably one of the better case scenarios of that injury. So he should actually be okay.
I still say he's not going to be ready for 4 weeks.
But
Sure.
let me ask you the second part of that question. So this is the same knee that he jacked up.
That's the
And
reason why I
so,
think
so
he'll
this
miss
is not
it.
the first time that tendon has been torn. This is the second time that tendon has been torn. So my question is, again, you only have so many hits in you, right? There's only so many times you can put that damn tendon back on there. I'm just wondering, how effective is Nick Chubb going to be with the now twice repaired same tendon?
So
I don't-
so there. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't expect him to be 100% ever again, especially with this happening twice in the same knee. But even a 90% Nick Chubb is better than 100% of probably 25 running backs in the NFL.
Absolutely.
I think 2024 is going to be kind of I expect him to miss maybe the first 3-4 weeks because I think they're going to take their time with this injury, knowing that it is the second time he tore that tendon and whatnot, and you don't know how he's going to come back for it. I expect 2024 to kind of be not a great year for him. He might still get to 1,000 yards, but I don't see him kind of being that dominant force that he once was until 2025. I think this is kind of that we're going to play you when we feel that you're ready. Just give us what you can give us this year and then kind of go into the next offseason with your normal offseason workout and get ready for 2025.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000-yard season doesn't mean as much as it used to anyway. But the other thing is yeah, he had that same injury, but I mean, you got to keep in mind medical repairs are a lot different than it used to be. It used to be if you tore an ACL, your career was mostly over, and now they can stitch it together with cadaver tendons and stuff. I mean, they can absolutely make it, not as good as it originally was, but definitely high level repair, right? So,
Right.
Do I think he's ever going to be perfect again? No. Anytime you jack up a joint, it's not the best, but the stat guy's point, at 90%, Chubb is, probably still one of the best guys in the league.
Which tells us our league must really suck if a guy with 2 surgically repaired knees can be better than 100%.
Well, I mean,
guys in the damn league.
I compare that, not necessarily the same type of player, but look what happened when Adrian Peterson tore his ACL. The guy missed freaking 6 months, 7 months because he tore his ACL in week 17 and then came back looking better than he's ever looked before.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I kind of view like Nick Chubb. Like, I don't expect him to come back better than he's ever been. But that's the type of player that Nick Chubb is, where Adrian Peterson came back in 7 months and probably wasn't even 100% healthy until midway through that season. And once he got 100% healthy, he was averaging 150 yards rushing the final 6 weeks of the season.
Oh man, he was tearing it up.
Like every single game, you knew he was going to get you 150 yards and 2 touchdowns every single game. And I think that's kind of Nick Chubb right now, where the first 8 weeks of the season, he might be giving you 50, 60 yards because I expect him to be splitting time with Kareem Hunt. But as he gets further on into the season, you'll start to see him kind of work himself more back into that focal point.
Yeah, AP was a freak repair.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I mean, he actually looked faster afterwards.
He did. He looked better than when he started off in the NFL in 2007, and his knee was completely like shattered. In week 7.
Now that they got these enriched plasmas and stuff that regenerates, stuff within the knees and cartilage.
stem cells and all
The regeneration stuff that they're doing with stem cells. I mean, it's a different world we live in terms of recoveries.
Oh, no doubt. no doubt.
You know,
The
it's crazy.
technology behind it is fascinating for sure.
Yeah, you better have a good damn insurance company to afford that crap, though.
Well, the NFL pays pretty well.
No, I'm saying the NFL. No, I'm just saying, like, if you're just a Joe Schmuck trying to get something like that, I mean,
Yeah.
Chubb will be fine. Yeah. And now I see Higgins is requesting a trade from the Bengals. Y'all seen that one?
Well, that was a long time coming because they were saying that last year, where if they didn't extend him, he was going to ask for a trade. That's why he was kind of one of those people that a lot of teams are looking for at the trade deadline last year, because everyone knew that the Bengals were going to tag him this year. They were talking about they were going to tag him last year already, and everyone's like, kind of putting that out publicly a year before you're going to do it is going to rub T. Higgins the wrong way. So a lot of people thought that the Bengals would just kind of move on from him last year, and when they didn't, it was like, now what's going to happen? They tagged him, and a week after he gets tagged, he's like, nope, I want to be out of here because you pretty much told me last year that you're going to do this anyways. You had a year to figure out a contract extension with me, and we couldn't get it done.
So here's the thing with that, though, is, yeah, they tag him. Yeah, he's asking for a way out. If you are another team, I mean, you can't take him. I wouldn't give up 2 number ones for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
That's the franchise tag, right? Like, so
yeah.
if you were to, offer him a deal and the Bengals didn't step up and match it, you got to give up 2 number ones. I don't think Higgins is the guy that I give up 2 number ones for.
The only way I would do it is if he's guaranteed to sign that extension with you. If for example, if you're the Chicago Bears, for example,
okay,
they need somebody to go next to DJ Moore.
Sure.
They just got DeAndre Swift. If you're the Bears, you can be like, hey, we'll give you the number 9 pick in the draft this year because that's the Bears' second first-round pick.
Sure.
We'll throw in a number 1 or a number 2 pick next year, but you have to guarantee us that Higgins will sign like a 4 or 5 year extension. If Higgins is like, sign me for 5 at 75 or like 5 at 80, I'd see the Bears making that deal in a heartbeat because then that locks up DJ Moore and T. Higgins for the next 5 years together. Plus, then they can draft Caleb Williams or whatever they want to do. They have Swift, and that's pretty much your offensive core right there for the next 5 years.
Sure, but if you were going to do something like that, why wouldn't you just not give up 2 number ones and go get, Marquez Scantling, right? Like Valdez Scantling. Why not go get him? He's released. Wouldn't cost you anything.
It wouldn't, but when you look at,
but I don't think Scantling is going to give you what Higgins.
Yeah, you look at production wise, Higgins has been much more productive than Scantling.
He has, but you have a lot of other things to deal with on that team.
Yeah.
Oh,
giving
absolutely.
up number ones.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense for a team that needs a lot of things. Now, if they were a receiver away, I'm with it, right? Sure. Okay.
Well, I just use them as an example. Like, there's other teams I could see making this deal. Like a team that I hate and I can't stand, I could definitely see making deals. Green Bay. Green Bay's wide receiver core was so young last year. It was the youngest wide receiver core in football. But they also have Christian Watson, who is made of glass and can't stay healthy. And you have a bunch of those young receivers that you don't know how they're going to do in year 2. You add Higgins to that mix, you're at least getting somebody that you can count on every single game that's going to be healthy for the most part, and he's going to produce. But then that's also that veteran presence in the wide receiver room that wide receiver group doesn't have. Which
would really help out Jordan Love in his sophomore starting season. So that would be huge.
Yeah.
My thing is, like, with the Bengals, I want to go back to Bengals real quick. They made it to the AFC Championship with Burrow, and everything was looking great, and everybody's riding the Bengals high train, and like, oh my God, this team is doing so well, blah, blah, blah. And we thought this is a miracle season for them. And then obviously Patrick Mahomes had other things, and it came to a crashing halt. And, and do you guys how long do you think it's going to get? But because I think Burrow's still Burrow, right? But how long is it going to take for that squad to get back to the mountaintop again and actually get over the mountaintop?
You want the truth?
I don't think they do.
No, I could be lied to. My wife does it real well.
Do you really want the truth?
I want to be lied to.
It is when the next time the Bengals can get over that hump is when Andy Reid leaves and when Patrick Mahomes loses his weapons. Until that point happens, I hate to say it, there is not a team in the AFC right now that I would pick over Kansas City. Like the next 5 years. Because Chris Jones just signed that 5-year extension the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, for the next 5 years, I'm picking Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl every single year in the AFC.
But hold on now. That's a lot. No, hold on. No, and the reason why I'm asking you that is, look, no doubt how good Patrick Mahomes is. Okay, we all know But a lot of that, though, a big part of that offense outside of Patrick is also still Jason Kelsey.
Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelsey. I apologize,
Yeah.
Jason. I'm sorry
And he's
about
got 3 years left on his
that.
deal.
Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say, yeah, he may have 3 years left, but he's also with Taylor freaking Swift, who is probably going to be the first $1 billion singer
She
with
is
the
ready.
NFL.
She is
You don't
ready.
have so much damn money before you just don't give a damn.
Did you hear the news the other day, which kind of makes me think that Kansas City is pretty much guaranteed to three-peat at this point? NFL's already talking to Taylor Swift about doing the halftime show next year for the Super Bowl.
Dude, because they're going to get $1 billion. You know, she's
Yeah,
doing
exactly. But I'm just saying that's pretty much, if that happens, it's pretty much a lock that Kansas City's probably getting back.
My
Yeah,
point is this:
honestly,
how long do you think?
she's probably gonna end up doing the Sunday Night Football theme song too?
No, she will not. No, she will not.
I'll tell you right now, it's going to be Usher and Taylor Swift up there, and Usher's going to do like he did that one girl he was tapping on the butt, and then Jason Kelsey's going to come out there and kick the crap out of Usher, and then it's going to be pandemonium. It's going to be crazy. Nobody wants.
Well,
to
the
see
ratings would be high.
But realistically, though, the best chance that you had to knock Patrick Mahomes off was this year, and Josh Allen couldn't get it done. None of these quarterbacks could get it done. And this was the year that Kansas City was supposed to be rebuilding, and you could make a case that they did rebuild. It took them 13 weeks before they kind of looked like that Kansas City team that everyone expected them to look like.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to them for hanging around because they were a vulnerable team.
They were 6-6.
The defense was good. The offense was not.
They were 6-6 or 7-6 at one point before they ran the table. Like, this was the year that if you wanted to knock them out, this was.
Yeah,
but I'm asking again though, how many more years do you think Travis Kelsey plays with KC before he hangs it up? Because there were some rumors where he was thinking about hanging it up.
I think he finishes out his contract, 3 years, because he wants that third. He wants the three-peat. He wants the Kansas City receiving record, which I think he's like 1,100 yards away, which he can get this year, and he wants the tight end receiving record, which he's like 2,700 away.
Yeah.
And he's averaged over 1,000 yards the last 9 seasons. So if he averages 900 yards receiving the next 3 years, he's the all-time tight end yardage receiving leader. That's what
Kelsey wrong on that, but wasn't he under? Was he like 900 and some change this season? I don't know if he quite hit the 1,000.
No, he was at 996, and he didn't play week 17.
He would have hit it. No, he would have hit it.
Yeah, he would have hit it. He just didn't play. Otherwise, he would have had it. And that's why I said I thought Kansas City was going to play him that final game of the season just so he could get that 1,000-yard mark and then pull him. But it is what it is. But he's within like every single major tight end record possible right now, which he can basically get within the next 3 years. I think he plays out his contract so he can get those records and then leaves after that. And even if that's the case, there's not a team in the AFC I'm picking over Kansas City until Travis Kelsey leaves. They're just not.
Yeah.
Which means that's another 3 years. And by that point, Joe Burrow is going to be in year 10. Josh Allen's going to be in year 11. Lamar Jackson's going to be in year 10 or 11. At that point, can you honestly say those quarterbacks will ever get back to the Super Bowl or even get there in the first place?
I was going to say, what team do you think Josh Allen's playing for at that point?
Yeah, exactly. He might not even be in Buffalo at that point. But even at that point, like you're getting that far into your career with Josh Allen not getting there, Lamar Jackson not getting there, and Joe Burrow only getting there once. By the time they hit that time, can you realistically say that either one of those guys is going to get back at that point because you're going to have younger quarterbacks in the AFC?
Well, and, I mean, KC turns this thing around super quick, right? Burrow, who knows if he can stay healthy. But do you think that the Bills' window is mostly closing? Because this is the guys they've released so far. And their one notable guy they brought in was Mitch Trubisky as a backup.
Yep. Their window has closed. Last year was, I think, that final year the window was open because they got Kansas City at home.
That's kind of what I thought.
They had their chance to get Kansas City at home, and they couldn't do it. Their window slammed shut the moment that Tyler Bass missed that kick.
Yeah, I mean, it really looked like last year was their year to get it done. And they wasted it. And the way things are going now, that division's going to be tough for them to really compete in.
Yep. Well, I'll still put them as the favorite because you look at what Miami's losing on defense. They just lost Christian Wilkins. Bradley Chubb is probably not going to be ready for the start of the year. They lost Vic Fangio, their defensive coordinator. So Miami's kind of going through a little bit of a defensive shuffle right now.
Yep.
Offensively, they'll be fine, but if Miami can't fix their defense, it's going to be the reason why they lost the division last year too, was their defense got hurt that last month of the season, and they didn't have enough horses to make up for it.
Well, and their defense, let's be honest, wasn't exactly awesome.
Yeah,
those
exactly.
seasons anyway.
That's what I'm saying though. Like Buffalo might be struggling themselves, but I mean, you have Miami in the same situation. Buffalo and Miami have a great offense. Neither one of them appears to be throwing a defense out there right now. So what's your pick?
Yeah, and then what you got the Jets, and who knows what they're going to be.
Yeah. So like at this point, if I have to trust Sean McDermott or Mike McDaniel, I'm going to trust Sean McDermott over Mike McDaniel just because he's proven that he can at least win more consistently.
True. Yeah.
I love how Chris Lentz is waiting on the April 1st hater show because it's gonna be epic, baby.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. Honestly, it's gonna be.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think Bo gets a lot of. I think Bo gets 0.
So I just heard. You just heard? Did you guys hear? Did you guys announce it?
What's that?
The Eagles signed Barkley to a 3-year deal.
Oh, we hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I just came across. It's on Twitter. Hold on. Who reported it on Twitter? Who reported it on Twitter? Somebody just reported it. Wesley Steinberg.
Hey, well, did they sign Barkley's doctors too? Because they're going to need them.
You're just jealous. You're just jealous that you guys can't sign anybody because your Cowboys are still over the cap even after they drop half their team. They're still over the cap. So stop crying. But all that talk, they said that we weren't going to sign him, and guess what? We signed him for a 3-year deal.
So weren't we both about them signing Barkley? We actually were talking possibility.
So that was a surprise. It was so much of a surprise. I'm like, I got to come back on for this. I didn't know if you guys saw it or not. It's mentioned on Twitter from Wesley Steinberg. Saquon. So I mean, Google it. I'm sure something comes up on that.
I'll tell you what, it does come up when I Google, but I can't see that TV.
Yeah, because the Cowboys still suck. Dallas sucks.
And, we're going to win the division because you know what? You're putting us into existence. So we're going to win the division. I'm going to call it right here. Philly Sports Guy, rise to get rid of the division. Two-time loser.
You just New Yorked your team. That's what you just did. There, bandwagon.
Oh, that's awesome.
I really hate you.
So, but yeah, like I said, it was one of those things I had to put out there. I was like, oh, if you guys didn't report it yet.
I'd
So,
be afraid if you did come on.
well, like I said, when I found out, I was like, "Ooh, I gotta mention this."
Yeah, I mean that's a good pickup for you guys as long as you actually use them correctly.
Well, I mean, we're not going to, use them like Bijan. Like I think, like every other third game. You know what I mean? Games that, any day that ends in Y, forget it. We're not going to use them.
I mean, that is a good way to keep the mileage down, though.
That's why he'll last 3 years because we don't use them for year 1 or 2.
Yeah, well, you got Gainwell there, so I think if you just do a really good mix of those two guys, you can probably prolong Barkley a little bit more.
Oh, maybe. So, but anyways, I just wanted to hop on and let you guys know. Okay, is that out? That's out. Good save. All right. Still watching the game, but now I'm in the suites. It's actually nice suites up here.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a good spot to be.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured I'd go. So
Why weren't you there earlier? What's wrong with you?
Well,
right?
Because. But all right, guys, I just wanted to announce that you can find it all out now yourself. We'll talk about it more tomorrow.
You know it.
All right, have fun, Philly.
Take it easy.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Man, he got better seats. Damn.
Right?
Jeez, I told him to make his way down to the damn dugout. I don't know why he didn't listen to me. You're a Philly freaking sports guy. You should be at the damn dugout. God, what's wrong with these people? You don't put baby in the corner. You put it front and center.
Nope. Corner. It's where it's staying.
But no, I tell you, hey, look, I know, Stat Guy was talking about earlier about Kansas City winning the next three, or who's going to. I am still believing that the Stroud is going to get that team up there. I mean, I'm not going to say that, that they can't get up there and get to that mountaintop. I mean, if they continue to grow at the rate they're growing.
Well, I mean, the other thing is you can't completely discount the Ravens, right?
Right.
And I mean, there's some teams that it's one of the things that's great about football, right? Is because it's a one and done. Like, you just got to catch a guy on the wrong day. Do I think if they did a series that KC would beat them? Sure. But you got to beat them on that Sunday that you play. And
Absolutely.
so, I don't think they win them all moving forward. I don't see that being a real thing, but they're going to be in the mix, especially since you have Mahomes taking that page out of Brady's book where he's playing for discount, right? Like at this point, he isn't the most expensive guy. He just restructured again. So I mean, he's doing the things so that they can compete every year.
Right.
So,
he's doing Brady-esque type things. Take a little bit less money because he wants the titles. He's not so much in it for the money anymore because I think he's got plenty of money. He just wants to get those rings like Brady did.
Exactly.
He's got more money than endorsements.
Exactly.
His endorsements are stupid.
Exactly.
Like, he's going to be next Peyton. Even after he's done with football, he'll be like Peyton Manning. He'll have endorsements out the wazoo for years to come because he's just that kind of endorsable guy,
100%.
and he just screams endorsements. But
exactly. And when you're making that much off the field, it allows you to take less on the field. And then, I mean, that just doubles up your ability to get the off the field stuff because now you're amassing rings, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And my thing is too, I'm going to go back to that Ravens for a second. I think the Ravens are like the Bills. I think they're good, but then they just not quite good enough to get over that hump, right? I just don't know if they ever get over that hump. I don't know that Lamar Jackson, as talented as he is the guy that's going to get them over that hump, right? Because
the thing is he can. Like this last falling apart had nothing to do with Lamar.
Right.
Like, that was coaching 100%. You can't go into the game as one of the best rushing teams in the league and just not try to run the ball at all.
Right.
That made absolutely no sense. You could be the best quarterback on the planet, and if you get away from the things that you do well, you're not going to play well. Like, it's stupid. So their approach made absolutely no sense to me. I don't put that loss on Lamar. That was 100% coaching, outsmarting themselves.
Right. And it was just different from, Harbaugh. Because I remember, the days of, when they had the Suggs and the Ray Lewises, and they had the Jamal Lewises, and they had, just your game manager style, Flacco, Green, whatever, or different, they knew defense was going to win the Super Bowl. Offense, you get a couple of touchdowns. Don't turn the damn ball over. And let the defense do what they do.
Yeah.
Now it's like you still got a fairly good defense. It's not as dominant as it used to be.
Sure.
But Harbaugh's never had a running quarterback. He's always had the prototypical pocket passer. And like you said, you have a big, good, solid running back, and Jamal Lewis is running and running and running. And that's how control the clock, beat it down, and let your defense do what they do. And
but the thing is this year they had that. They had a good defense, and they had the best running attack in the league. Yeah. So why you would go into that playoff game and not run the ball?
Yeah,
they had 6 running plays, 2 running backs. That's it.
Yeah.
As I recall, the game is 60 minutes, right? Like,
right.
What are we doing right now? 1 running play per 10 minutes is insane to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like you said, when you're trying to eat the clock up and keep your defense off the field so they can rest, and you're not giving them enough time to rest because you're turning it over so many times,
Yeah.
And then my other question was, when you look at the Texans, my only fear for the Texans not being able to get to the top of the mountaintop is because 2 wide receivers went down, the Nico Collins, but they all 3 showed just how they can all be 1,000-yard receivers in that one season. So my thing is can Houston keep that core together? Because you got to think at some point, if they continue to go up that mountaintop, how much are they going to be able to afford them with the cap?
Yeah, I mean, so everybody faces that as their team gets better, right? So
Right.
I mean, it's how fast of an ascent can they get, right? That keeps you in the window. Then if you can have success early enough and you don't have people become head cases, then if you can get some team friendly deals, that's how you keep the window open. It's how KC's doing it, right? So
Right.
if you can, like in this case, if Stroud, say this year, somehow jumps in and wins a ring,
Right.
he'll end up with a bunch of opportunities as far as off the field money, stuff like that. So then all of a sudden him getting the biggest payday ever may not necessarily be the thing, right?
Right.
So that's how you can kind of shove your foot in the door to keep an opening, as opposed to when a quarterback's like, I want all the money. It's like, cool, you're not going to win anymore.
Which is true. I mean, and that's the thing, right? Everybody wants the big contracts, but with the big contract, though, you have to sacrifice something, and your career could be hurt by taking the big contract because, like you said, you're not going to have the best targets anymore. You may not have the best offensive linemen anymore because you can't afford the damn people because all the money's going to you.
Yeah.
So, and that's what makes Patrick Mahomes so good and Tom Brady so good, because I think they really truly understood that, and it's like, you know what? I would rather have a competitive team and keep my career going the way it's going and sacrifice a little bit of the money that I know I'm earned. And you're going to get it back in endorsements anyway. So it's not like you're really sacrificing.
Yeah.
If you think, I mean.
But the thing is you have to have that success. If you don't,
Yeah.
then that's where these guys are like, well, I'm taking the money because the team's going to get worse anyway. Right. So, if you have real early success, it affords you that ability to do that. Because say you're a Kirk Cousins, right? He's
Right.
actually had decent weapons around him, has never closed the deal, right? Just couldn't get it done.
Right.
If you're that guy, do you take a discount? Probably not.
He should take a damn discount. But yeah, you're right. Probably not, because he wants all that damn money.
Yeah. Or
I don't want to knock Kirk
Rodgers.
Cousins too much though, because he does do a lot of really good charity work. But still, come on.
No, for sure. Or okay, so let's take Rodgers for example. He got that
Yeah.
ring early, and then was like, I want all the money. And they've even had some decent teams around him, but they could never get it done. Right. The NFC Championship game was basically whoever goes to the Super Bowl is whoever beat Green Bay. That's what it was. It was a Green Bay invitational. They would show up and lose to whoever went on to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You know what I thought was interesting, since we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, what I thought was super, super interesting.
And
really.
all of my comments here are really going to feed into this hater show.
Well, hey, you might actually be generating some hate. It might not be a completely Bo neutral day. But no, seriously, Bo, let me ask you a question. So Aaron, the last year he was there before he leaves, that's when he had all the young wide receivers, right? And he still had Lazard, but most of them were the young guys. And he was so angry at them because they weren't doing what he wanted them to do. He couldn't do this, he couldn't do that with them. So he leaves and he goes to New York, whatever, and does his thing.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Love comes in, has less weapons because Cobb and Lazard went with him.
Yep.
So he gets all the young guys, and yet he has a better damn season than Aaron Rodgers. So what does that say for Aaron Rodgers in your opinion?
Well, so you know who it reminds me a lot of is LeBron.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to play with young kids. Like it just is what it is. He wants vets around him. He doesn't want to have to work that hard. Which, fair enough. I mean, you like playing with whoever you like playing with, but the problem with older guys is they're slower, right? Like it's part of it. So like if I was a quarterback, are young guys going to be not always on the same page with you? Sure. But at the same time, I want the guys that are the most in their prime, right? Like when they're the fastest in their career. Like give me those guys. Give me guys that can create the separation. I can help iron out the rough edges.
Right.
But give me the speed that, are the veterans, are they like if you had Larry Fitzgerald, am I taking Fitzgerald over a young guy? Yes, of course, because he ran the most crisp routes ever. Is he going to outrun anybody? Probably not. But I know he's going to be open, right? So
And
if
he
you
has
had
great hands.
exactly, so if you had that guy, sure, I get it. But if you just had, one of these young guys that you don't necessarily know anything about, and your other number one that you kind of like is a Jordy Nelson or in this case a Kadarius Toney or something like that, I'm taking the young guy, right? Because as much as Jordy Nelson was an awesome outlet for Rodgers, he had a hard time getting separation. So it's like, okay, I get that maybe you don't relate to the kid or whatever because you've been in the league for 20 years, but at the same time, he gives you your best chance to win. And I don't know, maybe I'm just hyper competitive in that way, but when I'm playing sports, I want to win. Like of
course you
like,
do.
Why else are we playing?
It's because winners want the damn ball.
Well, it's the old Herm Edwards. You play to win the game.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? And that's the way it used to be. But nowadays, and I don't blame anybody wanting money. We all want money. So I don't want to act sacrilegious out here or hypocritical.
Oh, no. I'm still playing for as much as I can.
But they don't have the love for the game. I feel my personal feelings is that these young cats don't have the same passion for the game.
Man, we're out of time.
Hey,
darn.
that might be for tomorrow.
Well, it will. So the thing is it's one of the things I wanted to bring up today is this right here. In fact, it's on the head page here. How much am I going to play, and are you going to pay me? This was in the loss at the Rose Bowl, right? So it's definitely something that we're going to chat about tomorrow. You're on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I will be on the second hour after the top of the hour. I'll be on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll save it for the I'll save it for the second hour so you can chime in on it. But yeah, I mean,
yes,
it adds credence to our original thought when he stepped away that it was because of the NIL and all of that. So basically, he comes out and basically admits that. So yeah, it's definitely something we'll talk about tomorrow because yeah. I mean, and you knew it was going that way. You know, it was
right. Oh, that's a lot to unpack on that one.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's I had it for today, but I wasn't expecting Pags to be in here. I thought he was going to be in for a little bit in the beginning and then bounce out. So, but that's part of the fun of live podcasting is you just really never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you really don't. You can't get this anywhere else, folks. Right here.
That's right.
If you don't think you can, come on the Hater Show April 1st. I dare you.
Definitely come on the Hater Show. We are working hard to make that a good one. we are definitely probably making people mad every day. And so for that, you're welcome. Other than that, we got to get out of here on time. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow morning.